Supervisors Roundtable, presented by the League of Women Voters of Winnebago County and Oshkosh Media. I am League President Margie Davey. Joining me on the panel are Karen Schneider, Oshkosh Herald Publisher, and Bremen Kesey, Oshkosh Northwestern Local Government Reporter. The League of Women Voters seeks to inform citizens about major public policy issues and about candidates seeking office. We do not support or oppose any political party or candidate. Winnebago County elects its supervisors every 2 years. This year there are contests in several districts, including 6 within the city of Oshkosh and 1 in Neenah. All candidates were repeatedly invited to attend. Unfortunately, many declined or did not respond. However, we believe that voters will benefit from a roundtable discussion of the county public policy issues with the candidates here who chose to attend. Here tonight are county board candidates from District 7, Kelly Farinkrug. Farinkrug. I'm sorry, thank you. I asked ahead of time and still get it wrong. District 15, we have Christopher Driscoll.
Hi there.
District 18, we have James Sponzer.
Thank you.
District 19, Bob Peschel.
Good evening.
I really do know some of these people. District 20, Mike Norton, incumbent. And District 25, Karen Powers.
Hello.
We urge voters to go to myvote.wi.gov or to vote411.org to find information about their opponents. We're going to start with giving each of you 2 minutes to tell us about your background, qualifications, and your motivation to seek election or re-election as a county board supervisor. Why should voters choose you? And we will start with Kelly on that end.
First of all, I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting this forum. And thank you to the Oshkosh candidates for welcoming me here with you as well. My name is Ky Tome Farinkrug, and I'm running for Winnebago County Supervisor in District 7, which is located in southeast Neenah. I was born and raised in Neenah and have lived there most of my life. My children are actually the 6th generation in my family to live in Neenah. I've had the opportunity to travel a lot, but I stay in Neenah because it's truly home and my favorite place in the world. I believe in giving back to my community. I'm an active volunteer for organizations throughout the county, and I sit on the board of directors for the Oshkosh Zoo Society, which is the fundraising and educational arm that helps the Menominee Park Zoo. I hold a bachelor's in business degree from UW Oshkosh and have spent years working in businesses that have been headquartered right here in Winnebago County. I've worked in many industries, including travel, service, manufacturing, and financial. It's given me an appreciation for the challenges and opportunities that workers and businesses face here in Winnebago County. I promise to make informed, inclusive, and strategic decisions and to use our tax dollars responsibly so that we can maximize the benefits available to us as community members. I have been endorsed by the Fox Valley Area Labor Council and Wisconsin Conservation Voters for sharing the values of those organizations. I've watched every county board of supervisors meeting since I've decided to take office. I seek to get every piece of information that I can. I read the minutes, I read the agendas. I've talked to community members, I've talked to county members and workers so that I know what's truly going on in our county. I've met with constituents, and I'll come to every meeting prepared and educated by doing research and speaking to stakeholders in the community. I am prepared to step into the role of county board supervisor and make a positive impact. I look forward to building on the solid foundation we've established in Winnebago County and use innovative ideas as we progress into the future when I'm elected as Winnebago County Supervisor in District 7.
Thank you, Kelly. We'll go to you next, Christopher.
Thank you. Good evening, and thank you all for being here tonight. Special thanks to the League of Women Voters who gave us this platform to speak from. My name is Christopher Ky Driscoll. KY is my nickname, and when people ask me how I got that name, I usually just tell them it's because I'm pretty slick. I'm 36 years old, and I live in Oshkosh. I've lived in Oshkosh for the last 15 years, 12 of which have been in my district, which is now District 15. I grew up in Fond du Lac, where I graduated high school. After I graduated high school, I attended Moraine Park Technical College, where I graduated with a technical diploma. In 2012, I began attending Fox Valley Technical College, where I gained 2 more diplomas, and I'm about to finish my 3rd here in May. I don't know if any of my technical training qualifies me to be a supervisor, so what does qualify me? Well, my mother always told me that I can do anything I put my mind to, and since I've been a welder, a truck driver, and now a mechanic, I think I have a pretty good understanding about what the average person wants. So what motivated me to seek public office? The real question is who? Brian Depperding, District 6 Supervisor, that's who. He explained to me how I could best serve the interests of my community, and that's when I began knocking on doors. And on April 5th, when the time has come to vote, my constituents should vote for me because they know I will put their concerns first. I will work to fully decriminalize marijuana, and I will make it easy to do business in our great county. If you'd like more information about me, you can find me on Facebook at KY Cares About District 15.
Thank you, Christopher. James?
I want to thank everybody for allowing me this time to speak. My name is James Sponzer. I've been a Winnebago County resident my entire life. I'm running for District 18. I have lived in that district for 40 years, and I've lived in 4 different neighborhoods within that district. I'm the father of 4 children. 2 of my children are educators in Winnebago County. I'm retired from Hoffmasters. I had spent 35 years there. During that time of employment, I was the union president there for 10 years. I also was a recording secretary, a trustee, and a steward. I volunteered for Feeding America when it came to Oshkosh, and now they have left. But when they were here, I volunteered for that. I'm on the Oshkosh Arts and Beautification Committee, and they're responsible for the murals you see downtown. We had a little holdup because of the COVID. Things would have got done quicker. I am also a member of the Sierra Club and Arbor Foundation Club, and that's with the trees where they plant everything in there. That's basically my background, and my background is really my character. And that's the only qualification I have for this position. I have never run on a county board. I don't have any county board. How am I going to state that? I don't have any of the accomplishments that the people have done on a county board to bring forward tonight. 30 seconds. Okay, that is my background. It is my belief that the neighborhoods in District 18, I want them to play a role in the decision-making process, and part of that is going to be through emails, texts, door knocking. I believe that they have an important role, and as I went out knocking on doors, I found the most wonderful people. I enjoy going to the doors more than anything, but time does not allow it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Bob.
Hello, my name is Bob Peschel. I am a resident of District 19, have been for 17 years. I'm a born and raised citizen of Oshkosh. I have been publicly educated within the public school systems and higher education systems of Oshkosh. I have a degree in religion, but not only that, I have experience with government in our communities, whether it's on the Oshkosh Common Council where I served 6 terms, or where I currently serve as the school board president for the Oshkosh Area School District, coming into my 6th year of that 2 terms. I have experience in government. Currently, I serve on the Joint Review Board, which helps choose the TIF districts that will be approved for the Oshkosh area. I sit on the Sustainability Advisory Board. I'm actually one of the founding members of that board back in 2007. I have been in the spot where I can speak about the decisions that I have made as a city councilman and as a school board member, and I can talk about how they directly support and have provided growth to District 19 itself, and not only just District 19, but also the whole county. So And that, we're talking about infrastructure, so we're talking about schools, I'm sorry, we're talking about schools too, but roads, sewer, water, all of that stuff that we depend on a daily basis. I've had a say in and have had a great deal of fun creating that change and longstanding processes in our community. So experience matters. That's what I'm running on, and I believe my neighborhood knows that and understands that. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Michael?
Thank you. Thank you, Legal Movers, for having this event. I'm Mike Norton. I'm a lifelong resident of Oshkosh, graduate of UWO and Oshkosh West High School, and I've been a member of my district for over 40 years. I seek re-election to the county board, which I've been serving on since 2000, for a few reasons. One, I want to continue my work on ADRC to be an advocate and work to better fit the people who are disability and aging, and that's going to be, and the seniors, because that's going to be a big issue coming up the next 5 to 10 years. Number two, I want to make county government more open and more accessible. I think it's high time, and I'm going to propose the first meeting we have, I think we should have county governments at a time when the public can come, like 3 o'clock or later. Number two, I really think it's about time that county government looks at finding ways that we can broadcast our meetings somehow, because I think people want to know what's happening in our meetings. That's number two. Number three, I want to be reelected for quality of life issues. I'm in the Parks Department. I've been advocating to have more events there. Hopefully, a year from now, we'll have a sledding hill and maybe ice rink. And we did get the director to open it up for the wintertime. That's a quality of life issue. Basically, and lastly, what I say, I'm agreed, that's like Bob, experience plus I care. What people tell me is I care about them, I care about their issues deeply. I listen to people, I'm always open, and that's what you need in county government. Believe me, the last 2 years, I got a earful on certain issues. So that's why, because I want to make county government more open, I want to increase, I want to keep the momentum that I have had to working on seniors' issues, and also by being open to the public. I think that's what the people want. So that's why I deserve your vote on April 5th. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Karen?
Hi, my name is Karen D. Powers. I'm the incumbent in District 25. I want to thank the League of Women Voters for inviting us here this evening, and those of you who are sitting in the audience and watching. I've held this position for 6 years. That's 3 terms. I'm in my 3rd term. I currently sit on the Human Services Board. I was appointed by County Executive Mark Harris, and I was reappointed by County Executive John Damel. I also sit on the Land and Water Conservation Committee and on the UW Education, Extension, and Agriculture Committee. Those are my 3 assignments. I first ran in 16 because the person who had the seat before me had publicly declared that he didn't really want some issues to be on a ballot because he was afraid of who might come out and vote for it. And I thought government ought to be, especially local government, ought to be available to all local people. And so I ran and I won. I want to continue my work with Human Services, and especially, as well as the work I do with Land and Water and the UW Education, Extension, Agriculture. I have lived here. I'm not a lifelong Wisconsinite. I've lived here in Oshkosh for 22 years. And I have a daughter in town who works for UWO, and 3 grandchildren in Oshkosh, in the Oshkosh schools, and a son and 2 grandchildren in the Chicagoland area. I certainly hope that people have noticed that I am always engaged in the county board meetings. I am the person who's been assigned to lead the invocation before every meeting, and I do study and work ahead and make sure that I know what the issues are and that I'm prepared to take a vote when it's time to vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. We also had invited, well, everybody, But in District 11, David Albrecht really wanted to be able to attend, but unfortunately, he's probably on an airplane about to land about now, so our timing was not good. He did submit this statement that I will read for him. As I am a lifelong resident of Winnebago County, I am honored to represent District 11 on the Winnebago County Board of Supervisors. I owned a small business for over 40 years and raised a family here in Winnebago County. I was also elected by my peers to serve as County Board Chairman for 8 terms. My business experience and understanding of how to work with people to get things done in county government makes me a valuable asset to the board and to Winnebago County. The Oshkosh Chamber of Commerce recognized me with the Horizon Award for my dedication to making improvements in our community. Throughout my life, I have strived to be fair and give others the consideration that their views deserve. While politics can be divisive, we must remember to put the people of Winnebago County first. That is the framework I use in decision-making. One issue I would like to continue to advance in the new term is the BOW, Brown, Outagamie, and Winnebago system, an inter-county partnership for working together to manage waste. In addition, fiscal responsibility is one of the main reasons I got into county politics, and providing my input into the annual budget process is a role I look forward to. I am proud that I have a reputation on the board for building consensus, and I am honored that my community has entrusted me to represent them to do this job. I do not take that responsibility lightly, and therefore I am pursuing re-election to District 11. Sincerely, David Albrecht. Okay. With that, we have completed our opening statements, so we will move on to a set of questions. You will each have 1 minute to respond to each of these questions. They have either been submitted by the public beforehand or by one of our panelists. And we will start with Karen Schneider asking a question of Karen. Karen.
All right. It's a perfect place to start. Okay, so the Board of Supervisors voted to establish a commission to decide how to spend the $33.4 million in COVID relief money the county can receive under the American Rescue Plan Act. Do you support the commission as a method of determining how to spend these dollars?
I do support this. The ARPA funds is a once-in-a-generation or even multiple generation opportunity we have to have funding that we could make an impact, a sizable impact on the needs of Winnebago, the citizens of Winnebago County. And I have discussed this with a number of people, including the county executive, about where some of the money might be thought to be able to be placed. I think one of the important places that we have to consider are those people who are homeless or who are under-sheltered and need assistance. And we could be building sustainable housing for those people. There are other issues, but we have a chance, and this is a once-in-a-lifetime, to use these ARPA funds to impact this county. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Michael?
Yes, I do support it wholeheartedly. And I'll just, if I can add a little bit to what Karen said, I think it's long overdue that we passed it last month or the last meeting. I've been waiting, I think all of us have been waiting for the last year of when this was going to happen. Personally, what I didn't like to see is this got into a kind of a personal fight between the county executive and some members on the personal finance committee. That's why it took so long. We are somewhat behind. Other counties, other municipalities have had meetings, have discussions, commissions, or whatever, to decide where their money goes. I do support it. It's high time. It should have been done months ago. I will say that, I made someone emailed me and said, well, I think we should have someone from the Health and Human Services Department or that area on that commission. I tried that, no one seconded it. But in general, yes, I think we need a broad commission. As the commission, about half will be the county board. Members would be picked by the county board chairman. We don't know who that will be. And then three or four members, I think 3 from the public at large, from the county executive. I hope that he picks varied interest. I mean, nonprofits, business.
Okay, thank you, Michael.
All right, thank you.
Bob?
Sure. I'll be kind of short and sweet on this. I believe, yes, that we should have created a commission probably a year ago at this point. We're coming on May and June of last year is when we were told, and some of the funds were start being, told that communities, the counties and the municipalities could start utilizing those dollars. And the county was behind on requesting where that information, where those dollars should go, and creating an infrastructure for dispersal. So I believe that, again, those are a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for our county, and that there should be a commission to do that as quickly as possible.
Thank you. James?
I'm going to say yes, and I don't think anybody's going to say no. It is, yes, they have to have a commission on how to divvy up the money, because everybody's going to have their hands in, or everybody wants some of it because it's a large amount of money. And so my answer is yes, and the sooner they get it going, the better it'll be for everybody, before they take the money away.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Christopher?
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. We should have commission for that. We pay into the federal government, and I think any chance we can get money back to support our own community is going to be money better spent here than somewhere else. So yes, I support it.
Okay. Kelly?
I support the commission as well. I think the opportunity is in making sure we expedite the process and remain proactive. Let's not be reactive here. Let's make sure we keep it going, get diverse members on the commission, and make decisions quickly.
Okay. Thank you.
You're right.
Roman, do you have a question for our candidates?
Yes, who should I direct it to first?
Well, why don't you send it to Kelly this time?
All right, Kelly, this question, what are the most important challenges facing Winnebago County in 2022, and how would you address it if you were elected on the board?
By far, the biggest challenge that everybody from existing county board supervisors to community members has talked about is staffing shortage, whether it's within the county itself or outside businesses. Everybody is facing trouble hiring staff. I know in Winnebago County, as of, I think, Sunday, we had like 61 open positions. We have people that rely on those services, people who rely on the employees. So we need to make sure that we're adequately staffed as a county. From a county board supervisor, we need to make sure that we're making decisions on staffing quickly, that we come to meetings prepared to talk about staffing, to talk about hiring needs, so that we don't have positions sitting open for months on end.
Thank you. Christopher?
Thank you. I'm not exactly sure what the biggest problems are facing our county right now, but my mission, I have two missions here. One is to fully decriminalize marijuana in our county, and also to limit county spending, so we're not spending too much money. Thank you.
Thanks. And James?
I didn't get to say it when I had the opening statement because I only had 2 minutes. But one of the problems I see with the county, and I brought it up to many people, and it is what I call labor shortage. It's close to what was being said before. The labor shortage, we have excellent people working for the county, but they can walk away from their job now and go into the free market and make a lot more money. I don't want to blame any government that got rid of the unions, but I hate to say it, we got to look at it. There are other ways of attracting people. During the summer last year, I was bored, so my daughter says, hey, you can cut grass for the school system. And nobody applied for it. At any rate, what they did there, and I hear it's been done in the county in a few places, is instead of working 5 days a week, they work 4. I'm out of time.
Bob?
Sure. For me, I believe that the greatest issue that Winnebago County faces in the next year is going to be how we address poverty and issues of, not issues, but areas where we can uplift our community members that have been, their lives have been upended because of the last 2.5, 3 years of COVID and needing some recovery related to that. There's a lot of issues, social issues that have arisen related to COVID that were there before, and it just made it easier to be seen now. And I feel like this is our time to start addressing some of those and putting action and money into programs of social uplift in our county.
Okay, thank you. Michael?
First of all, I agree with both Jim and Kelly. The labor shortage in this county, whether it's county government or in general, is a big problem. For the county government, I think we have to reassess. Pay is not the only thing that attracts people. I think we have to look at different things. Benefits, what to give of benefits. We're looking at a couple of things on Tuesday night about it. That's a big issue. The other big issue that I think, I kind of said it in my opening, is seniors, and especially senior housing. No doubt about it, I go to these conferences down in Madison, we're getting older. And if we're getting older, we're going to have housing that is both affordable and accessible. And when I say accessible, I mean, single one-story homes. Maybe we have senior living friendly communities. That's what's coming down the pike. And if we're not ready for it, it's going to be a disaster. So those two issues, labor shortage, especially at the county, and seniors and senior issues and senior housing. Thank you.
Thank you. Karen?
Thank you. I'm going to agree with most of what's been said here. Labor is a problem. There are so many signs on stores and shops in town that say, or in the county, that say help wanted, and there are not enough people. There are places that are closing early because they have staffing shortages. But I think that we need to concentrate on housing, affordable housing for the sort of middle-income people who could be running these various businesses and taking these positions, and we don't have that right now. And we do have a homeless problem as well. We have some shelters that are only open certain months and certain times of the day. We need to do more for those people who are underhoused and provide good, affordable housing for the middle-income people, that the policemen on the corner, and the firemen, and the secretaries, and people who could be working and taking some jobs that need to be able to live here. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Karen, let's direct your first question to James.
Okay, James. So County Executive John Damel has proposed that the county develop a strategic plan. What do you see your role, if you're a county board supervisor, to be in developing that plan?
I'll be right up front with it. I don't know what his plan is.
It has to be developed yet.
Oh,
What would your role be if you were a county board supervisor in helping to develop that plan?
if I was put on a committee, that would be one thing. And he's got the right to put anyone he wants on a committee. And if he wants to ask me, that'd be fine. Other than that, like I said, I'm a junior person, so that's the best answer I can give you.
Okay, thank you. Bob?
Sure. And I guess at this point, over the years, I've become a person that has decided to work to create change than be against the change that exists there. And so I would strive to be a partner with County Executive Damel in this. I have several years of experience of creating strategic plans with government officials and administrative leaders and within nonprofit organizations. And so having a strategic plan is the best path forward to be able to move forward and to create change in our community. I remember the days when the city didn't have a strategic plan, and I remember the growth that came just within 5 years of having that first strategic plan. And so it's better to work with someone and to be part of the solution than to create a barrier to creating steps forward.
Thank you. Mike?
I, like Bob and Jim, I would work with the county executive, but I want to give you a little my take. You know, we've had a couple of supervisors, at least one, who has said, oh, we need a strategic plan. We need a strategic plan. That supervisor hasn't done anything. So I took it upon myself last September. I said, I'll submit the framework by having a commission started. hasn't gone anywhere. I showed it to the county executive, the county clerk. My ideal, and it probably won't be adopted, to have 20 members, both county board members and citizen members from all around the county, start planning. And after a year, they submit it to the county board, and that's where our county board gets the input. We adopt it, we approve it, and then every year we look at it again and again. That's what I think should be done. What we lost in the shuffle is this fight I alluded to before between the county executive and the Personal Finance Committee about he wanted to hire someone specifically, the P&F committee didn't want to. We have to get beyond that. I suggested to the county executive, this ARPA committee, why don't we morph that into the Strategic Planning Commission? He didn't like that idea. I'm all for it. I'm willing to work with him, but let's get started with that.
Okay, thank you. Karen?
Thank you. I think the most important thing to do to make his plan viable is to work with him. And when you have an area in which you disagree, let him know what that disagreement is and why, but listen to what he has to say as well. And when you agree with what he wants to do, talk it up with your other supervisors as well. John Dable and I do not agree on everything, but at least we have a good working relationship, and we speak frequently and discuss issues that are coming before the county board. I think working, just not undermining what's been done or what he wants to get done, but rather discuss and keep open the communications. That's the most important thing.
Okay, thank you. Kelly?
Yeah, I have a lot of experience in strategic planning, both from a nonprofit side and a corporate business side. I love it. I support it. I think it's a great way for us to be proactive as a county. So I would look to be the voice of my constituents as we go into strategic planning and make sure that we're planning for what we need in the future as well as the county as a whole. And I think, again, it's important to be proactive and make sure that we've laid out a framework for many years to come so that we can follow that. And then also go back and review periodically to make sure that our plan is still relevant or that we're still following what we've laid out. And I think that in professionally, I've worked with so many different personalities, needs, wants, things like that, that I think it actually helps a strategic plan be stronger. So I would welcome that personally.
Okay, thank you. Christopher?
Thank you. I'm going to partially agree with Kelly here that my involvement in a strategic plan would be to make sure that my district gets representation and the benefits that could come from strategic planning. Thank you.
Okay. Bremen?
Yeah, what do you see as the most pressing needs for infrastructure or capital projects in the county? No, I didn't say to start with. So.
Let's start with Mike.
Pressing needs capital. As a county, I'm gonna say county government or the county in general.
Do you want me to just repeat the question? Okay. What do you see as the most pressing needs for infrastructure or capital projects in the county?
I think affordable housing. I think what I've heard from a couple of my colleagues up here, somehow we need that to attract the younger worker, and we need it to retain the older worker who's maybe retired. I think there is a role and a way that Winnebago County can do that. I mean, as many of you know, and the county secretary is going to give more of an update on Tuesday, we were granted a $10 million grant from the state of Wisconsin to attack homelessness and those issues. And I think, if I read correctly, there's some money available could go to some housing projects needs. I think that's a big concern in this county. I think that we should look at ways to address that in some way, and all around the county, not just in Oshkosh, but all around the county.
Okay, thank you. Karen?
Except for those counties that sit on the Great Lakes, I believe that Winnebago County sits on more water than any place else in the state. And we have a lot of bridges in Winnebago County. And while the Butamore Bridge has recently been redone, there are plenty of bridges that need that we need to work on the infrastructure of the multiple bridges that we have in Winnebago County. And I think bridges are probably the most important. Then secondly, worrying about potholes. Who hasn't complained about potholes? And those have to be addressed as well. And I'll agree with Mike that we need to work on suitable and sustainable and safe housing for those who need it. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Kelly?
I have to agree with Karen too on our bridges and add to our waterways. Make sure that we've got adequate drainage on our roads around waterways so that we don't have runoff going into our lakes and into our rivers. I think that's a big opportunity. Personally took a county road to get down here tonight from Neenah, and it was like being on a roller coaster with all the potholes. So we need to address the county roads and make sure that we're maintaining them and taking them to the place they need to be. And then I'll echo that we really do need affordable housing for our middle to low income residents, and also something that will help carry our seniors as they start to need that housing.
Okay, thank you. Christopher?
Thank you. So for me, the two important things about infrastructure are, one, everybody knows that Oshkosh is known for flooding, and it's terrible. And I think we're already doing something about that, but I would like to keep focusing on that. And also something else that everyone would benefit from are obviously improving the roads. So those are my things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
James?
Naturally, the roads, but the senior, very much so. We have Parkview out here, which is an excellent place. There's a lot of us that are closer to being residents than workers out there, and I don't even know if there's going to be enough room for some of us. So that's one thing. And another thing I did hear, and I didn't have time to check it out totally, but the 911 system is county ran, and like a lot of the radios and everything are getting outdated. So, thank you.
Sure. So, you know, in regards to capital improvements and, you know, we really have to think about the infrastructure of our roads, what's underneath the roads, what handles the amount of road, water and debris that hits them, our bridges, and our best resource is water, is doing ways that we can capitalize and maintain the waterways that we have. You know, the other thing is our parks, making sure that our Winnebago County parks are taken care of, are up to date, and provide ample opportunities. And I guess I would say that we should leverage our capital improvement funds with the nonprofit entities throughout Winnebago County to address and create sustainable solutions to poverty, housing issues, homelessness, domestic abuse, all of these areas that can improve people's lives, and to think outside of the box and how we continue those relationships and address those issues in our communities.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Okay, Karen, let's direct your next question to, oh golly, who hasn't had one yet? That would be you, Christopher.
Oh. So nervous.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of build off the infrastructure question, and we talk about our most valuable resource, which is our county staff and our employees. And we want them to collaborate, we want them to engage with each other, because they're going to be more effective if they do that. But it's my understanding that the infrastructure or the communication systems within the county is very fragmented, and it's very difficult to actually communicate with all the employees of Winnebago County at once, and they have to go through several steps. Now, in order to fix that or upgrade that, it's going to be a very expensive project. And my question would be, looking at the fact that we need to recruit and retrain people, and part of that is having a good work balance and being able to do your job effectively, would you support the amount of dollars that would be needed to make an efficient communication system within Winnebago County? It was a very long question, but.
Yeah, I was hoping that was going to be an easy one. Would I be willing to support putting funds towards a system like that? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I would have to look at, I guess, how inefficient it is. I mean, is it just something, how do we compare against other cities, other counties, and probably have to look into it more and make a decision based on the information I got, so.
Okay, James?
I would support anything that makes it easier for any employee in the county. I don't have the answer on how to do that, but I do support it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Communication always needs to be improved. You just don't throw money at something that needs to be improved first. You study it, you create a plan, you create outcomes and actions from that. Otherwise, we don't get anywhere in that change. So I'd rather, my way of addressing it would to ask for some type of strategy to be created that is encompasses the whole county, is all of its needs, potentially into one document, and then gives us the opportunity to create goals and outcomes from that, and to be successful and to be strategic and to be compassionate in the best way moving forward of making sure that communication can be improved across the board. It sounds like just your describing of it, sounds like there is not a plan that needs to be put in place, and that's what I would support going forward. So,
Thank you. Mike?
Let me just kind of add on what Bob said, because he has a very good insight. I think that's needed first. And Karen, I guess I got to thank you for the question, because I think that's something that the next IS committee, if not the IS director, should address. I know she had talked about upgrading the system or something months ago. I don't think she brought anything forward to the county board in the budget or otherwise, but Bob has a very good point. I think we have to look at it, study it first, and then, yeah, I agree, it needs improvement. Now it's communication between, employees on site, but one of the things that's getting more and more relevant is workers want to work from home. Well, if you work from home, you're going to have a system to be able to communicate that. So I agree, we need improvements after study. I think that's something that the next IS committee and IS director will have to work on very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Karen?
Thank you. I don't know how difficult it is for various agencies to communicate with each other, and it may be somewhat cumbersome, but I think if we're going to invest in better Wi-Fi and broadband, it needs, if we've learned nothing else in the last 2 years, it's that our children need to be able to get on reliable internet and be able to do their studies at home if that's going to happen. And we've been faced with children learning from home and not having the capability of logging on and having strong connections to get that done. And it's easing up now, but we don't know what's around the corner. Something could happen again. We're also an area that is not this year, but frequently inundated with a lot of snow. And if children who are left at home on snow days, they could still be attending classes by using their in-house computers and learning from home. So I think that's a more important place to place our efforts. Thank you.
Thank you. Kelly?
I do support communication upgrades. I think that the efficiencies gained from them will pay off in large dividends for our staff and for our community members as well. It creates an efficiency and easiness for staff members. They can get things done more quickly. And I think it's just very important to do that. And I agree that we should have a commission, but make sure that we're including stakeholders, the people who are actually using the systems, so that it's easy for them. And then follow up with communication, effective training. I think that's a great opportunity, and this is something that could be part of the strategic plan as well.
Okay, thank you.
Good answer.
Okay, Bremen, your question will be going to Karen first.
Okay, well, obviously working on the county board, you're not just working with the 35 other members who make up that board, but you also have to, take in the input and work with the county executive, John Damel. And the question here is, how do you ensure that, communication is, we've kind of talked about, a very important thing for making sure the county is going properly. How would you make sure that the board and executive are able to work together effectively, and what would you do personally as a member of the county board?
Well, I think I've already mentioned that I am in communication with the county board, with the county executive, rather, probably on a monthly basis. And when I have a disagreement with him, I let him know what it is and why it is. And I think he feels safe saying the same thing to me. And we have worked things out every time. I think that keeping in touch with the county executive, whether it's a candidate, whether he's the one that you voted for or you didn't vote for, he's the one who has the job, and we need to make sure that we work effectively with him so that we are making the best possible decisions for all of the people of Winnebago County.
Okay, thank you. Michael?
I guess I'll kind of echo the same way. I think you just reach out, you communicate. I think you have to have an open mind, whether you're working with a county executive or a county department head. That's what I have. I can talk to him. This is the third county executive I've had to work with. I agree with him most of the time, but not all the time. And you just have honest conversations. And I alluded a couple times, these personalities, that's where I think things get mucked up in the past year. I think we have to get personalities out of it, and we have to discuss things through and get the work done.
Okay, thank you. Bob?
Sure. So I think part of this comes back to communication. We start, all of us will want to reach out to Mr. Damo to create bridges with him. But it's also, I think, to me, this is, if we focus on the person, we're not focusing on the plan. And the plan really is the people of Winnebago County. And I want to come back to the strategic plan because it's become our buzzword tonight. And it seems to be the path that we need to strive to work together, is to create that strategic vision for the county and to communicate that across the board with department heads, with the county board, staff, community members, so that vision is communicated, talked about, and doesn't have to be agreed upon, but it's being striven towards. And I think we have to get away from the division politics and think about community and moving forward together as a group, and not just as Mr. Damel's role, the county board's role, department heads. It's a whole county solution here, so.
Okay, thank you. James?
Well, I ran for this position, and I'm still running for this position for the good of my community in District 18. I'm not entering it with any loggerheads where I'm right, you're wrong, none of that. We have a responsibility to the taxpayers. If you have personal differences, you can agree to disagree, but I think you have to get along and respect other people's opinions. The bottom line is you owe it to the taxpayers. Thank you.
Thank you. Christopher?
Thank you for the question. My belief is that every supervisor has a responsibility to represent their own district, and so if that supervisor feels like their voice isn't being heard by the county executive, it's their job to get in touch with them, whether it's through email or phone or text or messaging or in person. In person's my personal favorite, so thank you for the question.
And Kelly?
I think that a lot of it comes down to communication, that we have to have keep an open mind and talk through issues. If there's disagreements or you don't understand what somebody wants to do or the decisions they're making, to ask them why. And I think that we can overcome a lot of obstacles when we do that. Personally, I am here to represent the people who live in District 7, and it doesn't always matter what I want, what I think, it matters what they want. And so if I approach a challenge, I'd like to go back and talk to some of my constituents and get their feedback. Am I in the wrong here, or do I need to push on an issue? Things like that, so that I'm making sure I'm best representing them and then I can communicate what they want to leadership as well.
Okay, thank you. We've now reached the time when we can have an opportunity for clarification. This means that each of you will be given 30 seconds to either clarify or rebut something that's been said tonight, or anything else you would like to share. And we will be starting with you for this, Kelly.
I personally read the Oshkosh Northwestern article about some of the friction between the county board and the county board supervisor. And I was upset by it because I think that we do have an opportunity to set aside nonpartisan politics, like Bob said. And I think that that will be a big challenge for some people, but I think that it's kind of the ultimate goal as a county board, and it's where we need to be.
Thank you. Christopher?
Well, I guess I just want to say in closing that my name is Christopher Ky Driscoll, and I'm here to represent District 15 because I care about them. If anyone would like to get into contact with me, if they have further questions for me, or just like to get to know me better, you can find me at KY Cares About District 15 on Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you. James?
Well, I'm a little disappointed tonight, not in anybody here, but there was people that didn't show up. And I kind of stumbled here and there, but that's part of it. But I think every one of these people that came here tonight at least had the guts to show their constituents that they're willing to step up to the bat. Thank you.
Bob?
Thank you. So, Bob Peschel, running to represent District 19 of the Winnebago County Board. And I guess I just, for me, experience matters. Understanding how government works, what to do, how to leverage that, how to collaborate with other entities and across departments, and having the experience to be able to coalesce all of that together is really important in an elected official. And I believe that I have those abilities and skills and have proven that over several years of being elected throughout our community. So thank you for your time and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Mike?
Thank you. I just want to add that I, like the others, I'm here to ask for your vote to be re-elected to represent the 20th district. I also want to get re-elected because I want to help the total county as a whole. I'm willing to work and listen to anyone who wants to approach me. I'm always open to new ideas and new things. I heard one tonight, a couple tonight. I think I should be considered for your vote and earn your vote because I will be open with you and I will represent you and I'll reach out to you. And I think you need someone who will do that, a constituent, and all of us are as a representative. So that's why I ask for your vote, if you live in District 20, for Mike Norton, for Winnebago County Board Supervisor.
Thank you. Karen?
Thank you. I'm the incumbent in District 25. I'm not on the ballot. I was due to an ankle injury. I was hampered at getting my signatures in on time. So you will have to write my name in on the ballot, and District 25, Karen D. Powers. I want to continue the work that I've done in the three commissions that I work on now, and continue working for the citizens of Winnebago County, my constituents in particular, and all of Winnebago County in general. And I ask for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you all. I have to agree with what James said. We did invite candidates. We always hope that they'll attend. I was glad that we were able to find a way to hear the voices and meet some of the new people. Because there is such a large turnover in the county board this time, there were a lot of new faces. So we're very thankful to those of you who were willing to introduce yourself to the community. That is our mission, is to educate the voters and help them get to know you better. So we appreciate that.
Margie, I want to thank you because, one thing that I think we want to strive, I think the rest of us here, we have to start educating the people more about what Winnebago County government does. That's my biggest, thing, my 20 years, that people don't understand what we do. When I go every 2 years to get senators, they don't know what to do. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm glad you had this because maybe some people know what Winnebago County does. They know what the school board does. They know what the state council does. They don't know what we do. So I thank you for this.
Well, thank you for saying that, Mike. We have found that often you ask somebody who their supervisor is, and they don't even know what district they're in. We do hope that people will become more aware of the county board. There are many things going on in this election that are different. They're new and different this time, so I do have some reminders for everybody who's watching. There are several new rules in place for this election. The league strongly advises every voter to go to MyVote, WIOGR, to be sure you are registered and to confirm your polling place. There are new districts and wards in Oshkosh which may affect where you vote. Even if you have voted in the primary election on February 15th, there may be changes you'll need to be aware of. Some polling places have had to adjust for road construction and other issues, so please check. The worst that can happen is that you'll find out that you were right. So, there are also new rules for those voting absentee. If you plan to mail in your absentee ballot, please do so very early. There is no guarantee how long mail may take, and if your ballot is not received by Election Day, your vote will not be counted. If you choose to hand deliver your absentee ballot, be aware that new state law says that you cannot use the drop box in front of City Hall. If you do, your vote will not be counted. You must hand deliver your ballot to the city clerk's office on the first floor of City Hall. No one else can do this for you. If you are not able to enter City Hall, you may park outside and call the clerk's office to request someone come get your ballot from you, but only you may hand in your ballot. The polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. You may register when you go to vote on Election Day. Take a proof of residence with you. Everyone must show a photo voter ID. On behalf of the League of Women Voters of Winnebago County and Oshkosh Media, I want to thank all the candidates who shared with us tonight, and especially I want to thank panel members Karen Schneider and Bremen Kesey for participating in this forum. And finally, thanks to our audience in the studio and those who tuned in via television, radio, Oshkosh Media, YouTube, or streaming video.